When Ghana discovered oil in commercial quantities, it was greeted with great jubilation, with most Ghanaians hoping the problems of the nation will be solved. However, 1 year after the discovery, most people, especially those within host communities, are not so happy with the way operations are negatively affecting their livelihoods. Fishermen along the shores of the Jubilee field complain about harassment by the military anytime they come close to the rig. According to the Jubilee partners and the government, for security reasons and even for their own safety, fishermen are not supposed to operate within a 500-meter radius close to the rig. However, the fishermen say there is no clear demarcation to show the 500-meter radius. According to them, it is therefore difficult to tell whether they are close to the 500-meter radius, as that is determined by the Navy. The fishermen say sometimes their canoes are pushed and brought closer to the rig by the sea waves, and therefore clear demarcation is necessary.
One way. To the beer, your free baby bocan, we so your quandi. Now here was man as no way and knee. To see a cop one and I don't know why. Into me uncle. Now, sometimes in soon so or to up him, to make him right, to make him by left. Today be our winner, I didn't need him Bob Way, Bob, and then need him botch your cry. Ben in soon, I feel me down in soon. I try to call, I don't know. Levi Finusu, the man, when you there, I bought a pan quarry. No, I just won't win sim, you or Grana or Bruna.
That's no current dinner, and that's since you put them the man. Levi Finusu, I've been at the Cacado over the Wonoko. Oh no, I hold it to us, and over the other sister into me and Kawasa. Sister, it's two school fees. Here, my from the Sabian from Luca Cabinets, what you want to the man of Chata, which travel.
The fishermen say as a result of the restrictions by the Navy, they are unable to go far to fish. They also say their catch has dwindled drastically as the fishes are attracted to the rigs. The fishermen also claim that as a result of this, they spend more days on sea than previously because all the fish have gone very far. They say the fishing industry along the coast risks being destroyed.
Yantantina Ghana High Yujuma, Yakwa Avricus, Yakwa Yakwa Gambia, America says Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana Funquatina, Yaho, Cote d'Ivoire for Yankofa, when Yapujuma, Cote d'Ivoire for Yapujuma, when Yapujuma, Ghana Funquatin, Yakugo, even I didn't know Yapi, a Poda Ya, Naya Traya Cote d'Ivoire. Oh, yeah, Abe, so Brasina. Oh, your blessing, ma, the whole Ghana. No, Baba, no, sir, curse the Baba, ma, curse no Baba, Ama, a falafel. Don't get say, oh, your papa. This is a the Mugimedin, one to Ayeri, yen to me and can oil in Magana, and not tamper fre, another half not tamper fre. Na, you have a can of home to. No more, Yayodi, need it down there. Sagana Bafan tamper for oil. No, the bus had been missing a
last 2 months. They went to Nigeria with one canoe. And then they called me and so the price might be very good more than Ghana. If I can get about 2 or 3 canoes over there, then I'll go and stay there to make myself comfortable.
Unfortunately, since they came here, they started this oil rig, we were made to understand that it's going to help us a lot of benefits, and then it is even going to improve our living standard and conditions. Yes, when they put up there, it is the place that we used to fish, but they didn't give us the rare demarcation. There's no indication that if you trespass this border, you are going to be in danger. So for that matter, they are going to arrest you or penalize you. They don't do it like that.
Spokesperson for the 3rd Battalion of Infantry in Takrady, Lieutenant Alfred Mate, disagrees and says the fishermen know they are flouting the law. He said the Navy has had a lot of consultations with the fishermen, and so the fishermen should not blame the Navy for their mistakes.
the activities on those installations at sea are ongoing, in that you always get there and you realize that there is even a waiting area for even logistics supply vessels where they even wait. So looking at this general area, there's no way a fisherman will tell me that he cannot see that he's getting close to an area which is termed as the advisory zone, within which they are not supposed to fish. That aside, we always have our men around who, when they realize that the fishermen are getting close, prompt them. After all said and done, they still move within the advisory zone, and that's the point I'm trying to make. It's not like the oil rig is in isolation and that you just seal and then you just bump into it. No, you at a distance, you realize that you are getting close, and it's obvious that you are getting close, yet they still get close. If a fisherman should give you an excuse that he's being pushed towards the rig by a tidal wave, that is quite unbelievable, because he's a fisherman and he's supposed to be able to control his vessel. Okay, and the movement of a vessel at that point, when you are getting close to an installation, wouldn't be as fast as when you are at, a point at the sea where you can go at that kind of speed. So there's no way you tell me that you are running at a top speed, and that if you are sailing at a top speed and that you cannot control your vessel and you end up within the advisory zone.
Member of Parliament for Ivalue-Jura constituency, Catherine Afeku, says it is unfair for the Navy to go seizing nets and manhandling the fishermen. She says the country needs a more pragmatic approach to the issue.
The Petroleum Exploration Bill has been taken off the agenda of Parliament, but we have rather passed the Petroleum Revenue Management Act. You are interested more in the revenue rather than the pros and cons, the rules and regulations of the exploration. That would have really earmarked the boundary, the zone where fisher folks are not supposed to do. What you're saying right now, from what you picked from them, clearly states that it's an arbitral rule by the naval officers that today your boat cannot come here, tomorrow it can go here, and you cannot run the marine industry in that order. That's haphazard. It doesn't show law and order, and it is an indictment on our brothers in the force, because these folks were here before the discovery of the oil. They were living on the sea as their only source of livelihood. So if we had put in rules and regulations in the exploration law, if it had become an act, I'm sure there would have been clauses that states the nautical mileage wherever, and the fisher folks would have been given that kind of information. Nevertheless, it's still not late. Even without the law, I think it's imperative that the Navy takes it upon itself not to take this Rambo-style attitude and create friction between civilians and the force, but to really come down and talk to people. Yes, you may have recalcitrant fishermen, but obviously not every fisherman is breaking the law, and they cannot indiscriminately come into people's homes and break their homes, burn their nets, and walk away with impunity. It cannot happen, especially when we are not in a military rule. This is a democratic order. If something is wrong, we resort to law. We resort to the rule of law.
Corporate Affairs Director of Talu Ghana, Gehat Mensah, disagrees. He says the Jubilee partners are not hiding behind the Navy to manhandle the fishermen. He noted that there have been times when fishermen have been rescued by the Navy, so it is misplaced for them to accuse the Jubilee partners of wrongdoing. He also said the fishermen were given some life jackets for easy detection, but they have stopped wearing them.
The 500-meter demarcation is not an imposition by TALU or by the oil companies. It is a requirement by the Ghana Maritime Authority, and so that indeed was set by the Ghana Maritime Authority. Besides, if you get so close, the other danger is that the nets and the other items that they use can also stray and get entangled under the various equipment and the machines that are operating in the Jubilee field. And that again will mean cost, because they will have to be removed. It might mean shutting down operations and all the attendant costs that come with it. And so, yes, There is the issue of their safety, and there are evidence, you have pictures to show occasions where we have had to rescue them. And then there is the issue of the possible impact on operation and all that. So, yeah, that is the rationale behind setting that limit.
Gehat Mensah also noted that it cannot be possible that all the fishes in the sea will move towards the rigs.
The west coast of Ghana, and you look at the space that the Jubilee field is occupying, it does not merit the position that the fishermen are being denied of their livelihood, because that is not the only place where the fishermen can go and fish. Fishing is across the entire coast of Ghana. And so, these are some of the understandings that we need to come to be able to have a compromise solution to this particular issue. Number one, because of the facilities and the installations on the Jubilee field, the tendency is for fishes to gravitate towards that area, as I said, because of the light and the installation and all that. So yes, some fishes would move towards that area. It doesn't mean all the fishes on the west coast of Ghana have moved to the Jubilee field. That certainly is not the case. And that is where I come to my point. We need to have an agreement. Do we want to produce the oil or not? Yes, we want to. Do we want the fisherman to earn his keep? Yes, we want to. How are we going to ensure that? And this is the continuous conversation that we need to have.
Solomon Kusiampofo is Programs Officer for Friends of the Nation, an NGO which has dealt with the fishermen since the oil find. He tells the news team that with a new FPSO due to arrive and more rigs to be built, the fishermen are likely to lose their livelihoods, and the earlier something is done about it, the better.
Jubilee field, there was an FPSO and there was a 50-meter, 500-meter radius that the fishermen should not go. And there's going to be another FPSO for the 10th field, that is the Trebois and Yema in Tome. And gradually, if we are going to employ this FPSO technology, it means our fishermen are going to lose fishing grounds. And already the fishing industry is distressed. Fish catches has been declining over the years. And the loss of fishing grounds, more fishing grounds, is going to escalate the situation, and fishermen are going to be more impoverished.
Solomon says the only way this problem could be solved is for the fishermen to be provided alternative livelihoods, since the fishermen themselves have been harvesting everything in the sea against international maritime laws.